Alright guys, so now is the perfect time for me to show you how I personally adjust my bids with search. Then we're going to go really advanced. I'm going to show you how we're going to adjust demographic, age, income, and then of course our shopping editing as well. However, we can't do any of that until you can see kind of the similar columns and reporting that I see. So we're going to be creating our columns right now. And so what I want to show you is what columns are, and it's these things right here. We have cost per conversion. These are columns. However, these columns are different depending on whether you are in the view of all campaigns, or if you click on a campaign, these columns are now changed. So you can edit your columns differently on how you would like. And what's more important is actually for me to show you the columns when we go into the specific keywords, because this is what we're going to be really going into depth about in the next couple videos. So notice these columns that I have right here. I'm going to show you how we're going to create them, and then we can kind of work backwards. So I'm going to click on this tab, columns, and we're going to modify columns right now. And so the first main columns I want to show you is performance. You can honestly just kind of copy these right now. These are pretty standard: impression, cost, average cost per click, very, very standard. If we click down here, we have conversions. Now, one thing I didn't pick, and I'm just going to kind of go slower, so now you can just go ahead and copy all those. One thing I didn't pick was conversion value over cost. And so this is actually your return on ad spend. So you can see your ROAS. However, like I mentioned in the first month, I didn't have this, so I unchecked it. There's no point to have this right now. And so you can see these columns, great, but what I want to go now more into depth of is our competitive metrics. Right here, no one really looks at this, but it is very, very, very important. So one thing we're going to be going into depth about is search impression share and search impression share lost due to rank. We need to take up as much search impression share as we can for the profitable terms and really understand these two metrics in order to make any bid adjustment strategies. Okay, so this is going to be super important in the next coming videos. And one of the other things I want to show you is that you can actually make your own custom formulas within the custom columns. So what I mean by that is I actually made my own custom formula. If we click right here, I made a formula that, truthfully, this is not important. I don't even suggest you use this formula at all. But what is important is knowing that you can actually create this formula if you wanted to. If you wanted to go all out and just create different things, you can. So I just wanted to show you that this exists, but it's not important because we won't even be using this. What we'll be using is the ones that I showed up here. And so if I'm to briefly go through the most important ones, some of the most important ones. One I was experimenting with was view through conversion, meaning someone literally just saw your ad, then went manually typed your website and then converted. I was looking at like, ooh, how many of these did I get? And truthfully, not many, because I'm throwing my ads everywhere. People are just going to click on my ads. Attribution. So this one I don't really click on too much. Attributes. Ooh, the next one I actually want to show you is Bid Simulator. This I thought would be great, but it's not necessarily super accurate. I'm going to give you guys a more accurate way to adjust whether or not you're going to go up or down. It's going to be super simple. But what this gives you is your estimated clicks per week if you increased your bid by 50%, whether or not you reduced your cost or increased your cost by 50%, and how many more extra clicks you would get. So overall, I don't want to overwhelm you guys because it's actually really simple. Now, once you go ahead and you check all the boxes, you're going to scroll on down here, you're going to save your column set, you're going to name it, and you're going to click Save and Apply. So that's how we get these columns, and now we can do this for the other ones as well. And we can, if we go back into ad groups, you can see this is how I like to see my columns as well. I have cost per conversion, average cost per click, and if we actually go way over here, conversion value over cost, return on ad spend, which we'll be looking at more. Bounce rate, huge, and pages per session. And so get familiar with editing your columns, okay? Just get familiar with it, and it'll help you because you're going to be inside this dashboard quite a bit. So this is just a quick overview of columns, very, very simple. And now we're going to go into the more important stuff in the very next video.